So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to discuss a very important thing about DBMS, which is database management system. So we all know that databases are the backbone of modern applications, from banking system to social media platforms. But did you know that choosing the right databases can dramatically affect performance, scalability, and security as well. So in today's video, we'll explore everything like what is database management system (DBMS), types of DBMS, that is RDBMS and NoSQL DBMS. Plus, we'll also discuss when to use RDBMS and versus NoSQL, along with real-world examples. Plus, we will also be looking into future trends in databases and how companies handle big data. So, did you know that Facebook, Amazon, Netflix do not use traditional databases for everything? They rely on NoSQL data scalability. Stay tuned to find out why they rely on NoSQL databases. So we actually post free job updates also on our for the Node channel. Plus we are coming up with a data analytics series in this particular video. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay ahead in your career. So all right, let's get started. So first introduction thing is like what is DBMS. So basically a database management system is a software that enables users to store, retrieve, update, and manage data. You can store and retrieve also. And what else you can do? Updation also there. They are like update is one kind of, if you read SQL, there will be a DML command called as update. So with the help of that data DBMS software, software is what? It is a software that enables user to store, retrieve, update, and manage data efficiently. You can manage it efficiently, like where to use, how to use, when to use. So all these things you can do with the help of DBMS, which is database management system. So for example, let's show you some example. So for example, let's see you have stuck in a bookstore, right? You own this bookstore, entire bookstore, and you need to keep a track of the booking stack, right? So you can see so many books are there, right? So and also you have to keep track of the customers and the purchases along with the salary revenues of the particular books. So without a proper database, managing this is going to be chaotic, right? That's why where DBMS comes into picture. So it what it will do, it will store the unorganized data efficiently. For example, the records of the book, the sales, the revenues made, everything you can store it, which is not easy or efficient to write it in a kind of register or something like that. So it will allow the multiple users to access and update data simultaneously. It all depends on the access management thing, right? What access you have given to the other people. So it all depends on that. But not all database work the same way. Let's explore the two databases, right? So first is RDBMS, which is Relational Database Management System. It is relational data, right? So relational database management system is basically in the form of structured or table. So what you will do here, structured table. It will be in the form of a table and follows acid principle. What is acid principle, that I will discuss in next video. But as of now, you can just understand that it's basically acid means atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. It is a it's actually a process of transactions. For example, I'll give you. I will not go that depth into that because I'm gonna cover it. So you can just understand that. For example, you are transferring a money to your friend, or you are gonna pay to some shopkeeper. So with the help of this process, this RDBMS, either the process is completed or it is cancelled. For example, either the payment is deducted from your mobile, I mean from your bank account and gone into others bank account, or it is not done at all. It won't be like, okay, money got deducted but it didn't reach the the receiver. But it's not like that, right? So this is how transaction works. I mean, the AC property of RDBMS. This is the actual the process of that. And RDBMS is basically stores the data in structure table with predefined schema. So you can think of RDBMS like an Excel sheet. You might have seen Excel sheet, right? So it will store in the form of like table, right? It will be table, some kind of, so it will store everything like a table. You can enter the number, the data. For example, you can store if you are a teacher or the professionals or something like that. You can store the students' data, right? Their marks, their CGPAs, all that. So this thing can be recorded in rows and columns, right? And each row represents a record. We call them record. For example, a customer, right? So and each column in database we call it will represent example. See in database we call column as field, right, and row as record. So field can be anything, right? For example, age, phone number, name. So all these can be fields, and records can be the customers or the students if you are storing of its students. So let's understand a little bit the key features of DBMS. So the key features of RDBMS will be like it uses SQL. I think you might have heard about SQL, which we call SQL as well, and the full form of the SQL is Structured Query Language. It's why the name Structured Query Language because it is used to fetch the structured data, right? And query language means it's used to write query to fetch the data from the database. So basically, it's a this language. I will go deep into that and will solve some problem as well. But as of now, you just understand this is a query language which is used to we run this query to fetch the data from the database. That's it. As of now, is fine. And also one more key feature of DBMS is so features you can say first is SQL it uses, and second is follows ACID property, follows acid property. Acid property already discussed over here, right? Atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Isolation basically means your if some other person is doing the transaction at same time, so your both transactions should be isolated from each other to because it will give you privacy. I mean your details won't get leaked. So that is how it works. And one more property of features of RDBM is that it's best for structured data and computing. Best for structured data. So these are the three properties, or these you can say that the three features of RDBMs. And let's understand the examples. Uh, so example of RDBMS you can see like I already gave one example of banking system, right? For example, a banking system ensure that money transfers are accurate, right? And if you transfer, for example, 1,000 rupees from your account to your friend account, the database must be accurate. It must display the correct information. So that is one real world example of RDBMS. That money debited from one account and it should credit to your friend's account, right? How I gave you an example, right? So it's you, for example, and you are sending money to your friend, so it should deposit to your friend's account, right? And if any failure occurs, the entire transaction is rolled back. If the, for example, it's got cancelled by any external process, or either the internet connection or some other issues, so the entire process should be rolled back. I mean, the money should come back to your account. It should not stuck somewhere else, right? So this is how our DBMS works, and it is one of the very good real world example of that. So that's where RDMM signs data consistency and reliability. But what about applications that need extra scalability and speed? So that's where NoSQL comes in because it's more consistent and reliable, especially if you need other data like the data is not structured. So now let's deep dive a little bit on NoSQL as well. So, unlike RDBMS, NoSQL databases are schema-less and designed for handling huge amounts of data at lightning speed. It's known for its speed. You just note down some basic steps. I mean, basic properties. Its speed. It will it will handle huge amount of data at lightning speed. It can handle very large amount of data, and that also with very good speed. So, for example, imagine a social media platform. Let's say Instagram. Instagram. and you are it will receive millions of posts right daily, and comments as well along with the likes every second, right? So storing this is in a structured table would slow down the system, don't you feel so? Because how long it will become if you store it in a table like format, isn't it that complex process? So what they will do, they will use Instagram for example uses NoSQL databases like MongoDB. So NoSQL database example that we are going to study is MongoDB. So nowadays it's you guys might have heard about a tech stack like Mon, right? Uh, so what does that mean? What it stands for MongoDB, right? And E for Express.js, R for React.js, and for Node.js. So these are so famous nowadays. The reason being that it's very fast, plus it is very reliable, and it can handle the database with lightning speed. So this is our and not just that, it can even uh, note down all the, like for example audio files, video files, and all that kind of file, which is not possible to store in RDBMS kind of structure or table like structure. So now let's understand little bit key features of NoSQL databases that we discussed over here there in RDBMS. Now we'll discuss for a NoSQL database. It can handle unstructured and semi-structured data, right? Along with highly scalable for big data application. It is used for big data applications plus uh, speed, faster we can say, faster, and one more thing we can say that schema flexibility. Like you can change data anytime. Data can change dynamically. You don't have that, it's not going to be static, right? You can change it dynamically. So this is how it's different, and its features are different from RDBMS, which is structured database, which follows structure. It can store both structure and semi-structured, sorry, unstructured and semi-structured, but RDBMS can store only structured database. So that's it about that, and let's understand a little bit about the types of NoSQL databases. Like there will be like document based, for example, MongoDB that I just told, and some other are like also that like column family based like Cassandra and all that databases. But that's again high level things, and we will be going depth into that. Then we'll discuss all that. Now let's come to the real world example of MongoDB. Now, like how I gave for RDBMS, right? RDBMS what I gave, bank retail transactions, right? The same way, the real world example of we can say for NoSQL is, for example, let's say Netflix, right? Netflix uses NoSQL database called as Cassandra, I just mentioned, right, to stream movies without lag. If you use, for example, RDMs, is it possible to store so many things like watch history and everything and all? No, right? So they use NoSQL database, and the database name is Cassandra. So it will not lag, right? Lag means you already know what it means, right? It will not get disturbed while playing the music. So for example, it stores the data like which episode you watched, which episode you watch history, watch history, and personalized recommendation, like how you get personalized recommendation to which source to watch, right, on Netflix. So these all are done with the help of NoSQL databases. This is the real master behind that. So because traditional databases can't handle such a high volume of data, that workload that I already mentioned, right? So now let's quick differences we can find. Like you can see on your screen, right, there are differences between RDBMS and NoSQL DBMS, right? So data structure, RDBMS uses structure tables, but they support various data format. Same schema flexibility I told, right? RDBMS has a fixed schema. It's not dynamic static. It is already fixed, and but then you can change this with time and with your requirement. So that is why it's kind of better. Scalability, maybe you can see that RDBMS typically scale vertically, NoSQL designed for horizontal scaling. So these are the kind of differences of RDBMS and NoSQL RDBMS. Use cases you can see here. RDBMS is either for structured data that I already told, but that is suitable for web applications and real-time, web application, all that. So this was all about that differences. Now, when to use RDBMS? So, for example, you have highly structured data, then you will use RDBMS. And for example, banking, HR, and strong data integrity and consistency. If you want strong consistency in data banking, I already mentioned, right? You need consistency in that. Plus complex queries in transactions. Complex queries there, then you use RDBMS. And now we should directly jump to NoSQL database. So as this one we have completed, right? When to use RDBMS, structured data, data integrity. When data consistency and integrity is required, then you use RDBMS, and you have to establish standard. Like if you want to establish a standard in the database, then you use RDBMS. Now directly come to NoSQL database. When to use that? So as you can see on your screen, right? When you need a high speed real time or big data, managing large volume of data, or rapid development means if you need faster, right? Quick iterations and change in data structure are needed. If you need the work to be done fast, you'll use NoSQL database. Plus high through output, high speed data processing should be high. Then you need NoSQL databases. For example, like you just mentioned, right, the entertainment service like Netflix uses, because they need high speed data processing and flexible data model that you can change anytime, accommodate various data formats. Like if you need various data formats application, then you will use that. So this is all about when to use NoSQL and RDBMS databases. So now, yeah, this was all about the two different types of database management system, which was RDBMS and NoSQL database management system. So now many companies combine RDBMS and NoSQL for maximum efficiency. Hybrid databases like Google Spanner and AWS DynamoDB are safe in the future. To choose the right database depends on your use case, scalability needs, and performance requirements. So that was all about this important point. And like, share, and comment below if what is your thought about this particular video, and especially the differences between RDBMS and NoSQL. What do you understand the difference between these two? And if you have some extra point to add that as well, so that we all can learn from that. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to it for daily job updates as well, and free data analytics course on this particular YouTube channel. Our job channel is Forge Onwards, that you might see the link in the description. That's it. Join Forge Tech for a free SQL and Python Power series that we are going to bring it. I mean, we are going to bring it soon. So that's it for this particular video. See you in the next one.